From the Great Northwoods to the Rock Mount Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Today on Good Morning Maine, one man is dead and another is behind bars following a deadly police chase.
Plus, a disturbing find in inside some Easter eggs that were discovered in a Bangor park.
And dozens turn out to raise awareness about autism during a special walk in Ellsworth. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday morning. We'll have those stories and more coming up. But first, a check of that forecast. Looking like a pretty nice day ahead today. Partly cloudy skies. Temperatures up around 60 degrees. So
nice.
Nothing to complain about.
I'll take it. Yeah. Here's Devin Biggs back from vacation with that full forecast.
Hey, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. As we get things rolling on this Wednesday, some areas waking up to a little bit of fog this morning. That will be going away as we'll see a good amount of sunshine. Radar and satellite is looking rather clear this morning, so no precipitation, just a little bit of fog in a few spots, but otherwise a nice day in store for us. A little bit of precipitation further off towards the north and a lot more further down toward the south, but we have some nice weather taking place for us this morning and throughout the rest of the day. So a lot of sunshine, maybe some clouds later this afternoon, more clouds, maybe some sprinkles further off towards the north today, but later on tonight, clouds to the north and a lot of clear skies coming up for us. But otherwise, some gusty winds could reach up to 20 to 25 miles per hour today. The wind's starting to calm down later on tonight and looking pretty good as we head towards tomorrow as well. So for today, pretty simple forecast, 60 degrees, partly cloudy, a little breezy out there with that west wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. Tonight, mid-30s, mostly clear, calm overall. So again, pretty peaceful evening on the way for us. And then for tomorrow, lower 60s, slightly warmer, increasing clouds throughout the day, and the northwest breeze at about 5 miles per hour. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon periods showing some clouds, otherwise temperatures making into the 50s and 60s, and some sunshine mixed in too. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma?
Thank you, Devin. We'll get a look at that 5-day a little later on. First up this morning, authorities are investigating a crash that killed one person and injured 3 others in Washington County. That crash was the result of a chase that started in Hancock County.
Hancock County Sheriff Lieutenant Dakota Dupuis says a little after 6:30 Saturday night, a deputy was conducting a traffic enforcement stop on Route 9 in Aurora when he saw a vehicle with mechanical defects traveling in the oncoming lane above the posted speed limit. Dupuis says the deputy attempted to stop the car and it came to a brief stop before the driver accelerated rapidly and then fled. A pursuit began that went through several towns, and that car eventually crashed in the town of Wesley.
3 occupants fled on foot. Dupuis says over the course of 16 hours, they were all apprehended and all given medical attention. The driver, 22-year-old James Nile of Bangor, was arrested and is facing charges including aggravated eluding, aggravated driving to endanger, and operating after suspension. He was on probation for burglary at the time of the crash. One of the passengers, 39-year-old Jacob Branscombe of Bangor, died from his injuries. Police say more charges could be forthcoming.
Well, meanwhile, 2 people died after a vehicle crashed into a tree and burst into flames in Reedfield. Kennebec County Sheriff Chief Deputy Chris Reed says it happened on Main Street just before 1 a.m. on Monday. Reed says it is believed the SUV is the same vehicle that passed a state police trooper on the North Road in Reedfield earlier that night while traveling in excess of 70 miles per hour.
He says the trooper was unable to locate the vehicle and continued driving around the area before coming upon the crash scene. 2 people were in the SUV. The medical examiner's office is working to verify their identities. Reed says the preliminary investigation shows that speed may have been a contributing factor in the crash. The investigation is ongoing. In other news, a man is facing charges after being accused of firing a gun towards homes in Benton. The Department of Public Safety says it was called to the Unity Road in Benton around 11:30 on Tuesday morning. They said they had received calls that a man was walking down the road and recklessly firing a pistol. Troopers quickly found 32-year-old Joseph Costa and transported him to a hospital for evaluation.
He was then arrested and charged with 12 counts of aggravated reckless conduct with a firearm and 1 count of firing a gun near a dwelling. Authorities say Costa is homeless and is now being held without bail. Police say no one was injured, and troopers hope to hear from anyone who witnessed that incident in Benton. Meanwhile, authorities are investigating a man's death in Acadia National Park. The man's body was found around 4 o'clock Monday afternoon in a pullout along the Schoodic Loop Road near Winter Harbor.
According to the Bangor Daily, the unidentified man was found outside his vehicle, and a cause of death hasn't been determined. His body was transported to Augusta for an autopsy, and the National Park Service is investigating the case. Moving on now, a disturbing discovery on Easter Sunday is now coming to light. A couple from Bangor says they discovered dozens of Easter eggs at a local park, each containing flyers spreading white supremacist propaganda. Samuel Woodman and Paige Fairbanks were at the park along 2nd Street in Bangor on Easter Sunday when one of their children noticed an Easter egg. Woodman says he went to open it and expected to find candy. Instead, he discovered flyers with false statistics targeting Black people and a link to a website with anti-Semitic messages. The Bangor residents took to social media to warn other parents of their findings.
I was disgusted. I was like 100% disgusted because this stuff shouldn't be at a children's park.
Even if these statistics were true, which clearly they are not, that why somebody would take the time to print these out, fold them up into tiny little Easter eggs, and then leave them at kids' parks.
Woodman says since posting on social media about the flyers, he's received hateful messages and even death threats. We reached out to the Bangor Police Department regarding the flyers, and police say they have not received any complaints.
Well, meanwhile, a consumer protection bill aimed at helping people buy event tickets has passed a committee in the Maine legislature. Senate President Maddie Daughtry sponsored the bill, which she says would regulate speculative ticket sales and deceptive sales practices. She says the bill would also guarantee price transparency.
Daughtry says, quote, "For many, the exorbitant ticket fees at the end of the checkout process have made attending events feel out of reach, while others feel scammed one too many times and simply don't want to risk it anymore." LD 913 represents meaningful steps towards protecting Maine event goers and small venues alike, while also preserving Maine's rich, independent live events culture. The bill is expected to be voted on in the coming weeks. In other news, after nearly 2 centuries in publication, the Ellsworth American and its sister newspapers, which include the Mount Desert Islander and Midcoast Villager, will be making a change. According to a story published in the Ellsworth American, the papers will no longer be printed in Ellsworth. Instead, come June, the papers will be printed in South Portland. The change will impact about 10 employees who currently work at one printing house square. According to the article, Ellsworth American publisher Chris Crockett says news coverage and delivery schedules will still stay the same. The owner of the Ellsworth American, Reed Brower, says consolidating print operations will help with long-term stability. He noted that the current printing press located in Ellsworth is old and would cost too much to replace, so they need to use other printing facilities.
So many of them have gone the same way. I believe Bangor Daily News did many years ago, too.
Absolutely. So this consolidation is something we're seeing in the news industry.
At least they're still around, though, you know.
Right.
Keep up the good work.
Right. Okay, the time now is 6:09. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, some local police officers put on boxing gloves to help fight a disease that impacts the lives of many Mainers. We'll hear why coming up.
But first, another check of that weather forecast. A nice day ahead today. Partly cloudy skies and breezy with highs near 60 degrees. It will be mostly clear tonight with lows dropping down to the mid-30s. Tomorrow, the clouds move back on in with highs near 62. We'll be right back.
It was like 8 o'clock and Rick's not home yet. I called his phone and there was no answer. My front doorbell rings. I knew the minute I heard the doorbell what was on the other side. They knew that Rick was driving 8 miles an hour and the brakes were engaged and the person that rear-ended him just wasn't paying attention. Unless you're looking straight ahead, everything else you do is distracted driving. If this could help one family, time well spent. Nobody should have that knock on the door.
If you haven't walked through the showroom at Davis Brothers Furniture in a while, we invite you to come take a look. At Davis Brothers, we've always strived to stand out from the rest. For decades now, the goal has been the same. Give people a reason to travel from all over the state and beyond to Davis Brothers Furniture in Guilford. Everything in our showroom is designed with you in mind, from a rustic lodge and barn look to traditional and even contemporary furniture. It's more than just a unique look, it's a lifestyle. Davis Brothers Furniture, deliberately different.
Hey, good morning, America.
Good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Every day of your life.
You're here because according to you, she's not peaceful.
She's banging on ceiling.
Banging on your door?
Banging on the roof.
Banging on my window.
Verdict for the plaintiff.
Get out of my courtroom.
Walk out.
All this week at 4 on ABC 7.
Tuesday morning's rain didn't stop hundreds from turning out for Downeast Horizon's annual Autism Awareness Walk in Ellsworth.
Our Alex Schley tells us why organizers say events like this benefit both the participants and the onlookers.
So much more than like the little boxes some people would put us in.
At Knowlton Park in Ellsworth Tuesday, local nonprofit Downeast Horizons hosted their 12th annual Walk for Autism Awareness.
Spreading awareness again. This is not a isolated thing. Autism is something that is throughout our communities.
The group of over 200 participants from Dover Foxcroft to Bar Harbor walked through downtown Ellsworth, proudly holding up autism walk signs, while drivers honked in support. Zambrano says the event helps build confidence for many who are involved.
We have them walking an autism walk with a bunch of people, and that's something that bothered them before, and we support them through it. And then they all of a sudden realize it's not so bad. And then when they're down on their own, they're in a crowd, they can get by. They can survive.
Participant Tyler Davis says he was bothered by comments made last week by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. about autism. Davis says Kennedy claimed autism destroys families and that children with the diagnosis are suffering. He hopes events like the Autism Awareness Walk will help shine a light on the truth about what it really means to live with autism.
He was very clear in his words that he thought anyone with autism was the most extreme version of it, when in truth we are this spectrum where there are, yes, sadly some people who are that, but there's so many thousands of us who can do all kinds of things. There are people who play professional baseball. There are so many riders, so many. And there's actors like Anthony Hopkins, for example.
In Ellsworth, I'm Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, meanwhile, in recognition of April being Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month, some local police officers put on their boxing gloves and then partnered up with a group that is helping people to fight back against the disease, one punch at a time.
Our Grace Blanchard has the story.
Out, move, in, punch.
Thousands of Mainers are battling the daily challenges of Parkinson's disease.
When I first came here, I couldn't even get up.
The group Rock City Boxing Bold Coast has designed an exercise program that they say has proven to slow the progression of the disease.
We've seen people start out with walkers or with canes that end up not having to use them. We see people's confidence growing.
That's what we work on in here is really excessive exercise, pushing hard, pushing beyond your limit to fight back against what Parkinson's takes.
This week, the group was joined by officers from Holden and Ellsworth PD who are hoping to raise awareness while connecting with the community.
And a lot of people have been affected by the disease, and this is a wonderful program to fight back against Parkinson. So it was a great opportunity for us to be here and join this group.
For participants like Pauline Levesque, who was diagnosed nearly 3 years ago, this program has been life-changing.
I don't think there are words that can describe what this means to me. It's something that I wish everybody knew.
The group aims to see participants leave each session with a greater sense of hope.
Hope that they can get better. They're not alone. They got a group of people that they can hang out with. And you see deep friendships being formed here. I mean, we've become a family.
In Brewer, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The Rock City Boxing Bold Coast is also holding a Parkinson's awareness walk this Saturday. That'll take place along the Bucksport waterfront. To learn more, you can visit our website at foxbangor.com.
Well, in other news, America's second largest pharmacy chain agrees to settle claims over controlled substance prescriptions for hundreds of millions of dollars. Walgreens has entered into a settlement with the U.S. Justice Department and will pay $300 million over unlawful fulfillment of millions of opioid and other controlled substance prescriptions that were not valid. The Justice Department says Walgreens also violated the Controlled Substances Act and the False Claims Act. The agency claims that the chain sought reimbursements from federal health care programs and pressured workers to fill prescriptions without proper procedures. The department dropped its case against Walgreens after the settlement. The pharmacy chain did not admit liability as part of the agreement and says its pharmacists work to fight opioid and other misuse and abuse. All right, the time now is 6:16. After the break, wildfires break out in New Jersey, forcing thousands to evacuate. We'll have a look on the ground.
Plus, that full local forecast coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Chevy makes affordable vehicles that help you enjoy life. Get more for less in the Chevy Trax. Maximize every mile in the all-electric Equinox. And power through with the capable Colorado. Enjoy endless possibilities and your new Chevy. Get the versatile 2025 Trax, starting at $21,795.
Goose River Farm and Meat Store is conveniently located on Route 3 across from Hammond Lumber in Belfast. They have a wide selection of meat and poultry, including beef, pork, lamb, chicken, duck, rabbit, and turkey. Open Tuesday through Saturday.
Exciting harness racing action returns to Bangor Raceway on April 27th with a 12:10 post time on Sundays and 3 p.m. post time on Wednesdays. Bring your kids and come see the wonderful horses compete live at Maine's #1 commercial track, Bangor Raceway. Horse racing has been a 142-year tradition at Bass Park. Catch the fever and start your spring season with harness racing. And remember, every 18 minutes, the place goes crazy. We'll see you at the wire.
This morning, GMA is right there, live from the Vatican, as the world celebrates the extraordinary life and impact of Francis, the People's Pope. Now, what comes next? Who could succeed him? Good Morning America this morning.
Wildfires in New Jersey have prompted thousands of evacuations and forced the closure of one of the state's busiest highways. A woman caught in gridlock traffic while evacuating said it felt like a war zone. The Garden State Parkway was closed yesterday between Bear Nagut and Lacey Townships, according to the New Jersey Fire Service. Over 1,300 structures have been reportedly threatened by the blaze, with about 3,000 forced to evacuate. The blaze was only about 10% contained as of last night, but there have been no reports of any injuries. Shelters have been opened at 2 different high schools in the area. New Jersey fire officials say the cause of the blaze is also still under investigation.
Wow, yeah, some of that footage does make it look like a war zone.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
really
scary.
severe wildfire. Scary stuff. Luckily, though, we have been getting rain up here in Maine. Fire concerns aren't as bad as they are in New Jersey right now.
Yeah, it doesn't take much, though. You'll have days like today where it's going to be no rain at all and a little bit of wind that's going to dry out all that grass and everything. So people have been urged to be extremely careful with any outside burning and that sort of thing, at least until things start to green up a bit.
Yeah. Here's Devin Biggs with that forecast.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much on this Wednesday. We have no advisories in effect on land or even along the coast, so we're starting off with the wave heights this morning. Not too bad overall, 3 feet according to the buoys nearby, some darker blues nearby too. So overall, the wave height's pretty relaxed, and farther out towards sea, a little bit more active, but overall 3 to 4 foot wave heights are being observed at this moment in time, so nothing too ridiculous going on here. I haven't shown you the water temperatures in a bit, and of course still cold out there, lower 40s for those water temperatures at this moment in time, a little bit warmer farther out towards sea. On land, some areas of dense fog greeting us this morning, maybe reducing things in Washington County, even near the Bangor area too. We'll get any kind of fog out of here today with a nice day on the way with a good amount of sunshine. Overall, again, not looking too bad, maybe some precipitation off toward the north, and again, overall, a lot of sunshine on the way for us, and maybe some clouds as we head towards the afternoon period. Larger pictures showing a little bit of precipitation further down toward the south in a few spots, including parts of Texas, even across parts of the Midwest. But again, we're in that nice spot where things are staying dry at this moment in time. So maybe a few sprinkles further off towards the north today, but in our neck of the woods, a lot of sunshine, maybe some clouds for the afternoon period. Coming up later on tonight, any clouds that develop, we'll be getting out of here. We'll be under a mostly clear sky. Again, some clouds lingering further off towards the north. Then once we head towards your Thursday, overall we'll have increasing clouds throughout the day, thankfully less wind. Then even by Thursday night, watching out for some rain that will be developing. Otherwise, again, gusty winds reaching up to 20 to 25 miles per hour today, calming down later on tonight, and even for tomorrow, not looking too bad either. So fortunately, we just have to get through today, and we're looking good. Maybe later into the afternoon, maybe some gusty winds along the coast. Temperatures recently, we had a nice warm stretch from Friday of last week through at least Monday, with temperatures overall that were in the 60s. And yesterday, of course, a little bit cooler, 47 degrees. That's about 9 degrees or so below normal. Our average high temperature should be at around 57 degrees, and we'll be above that today in the lower to middle 60s coming up over the next few days. Low 60s today and tomorrow, mid 60s Friday, then low 50s Saturday, back in the 50s and 60s Sunday, Monday, and also into your Tuesday. For today, low 60s, partly cloudy and breezy, west wind at around 25 miles per hour. By tonight, mid 30s, mostly clear with the wind overall looking nice and calm. Tomorrow, low 60s, increasing clouds, northwest wind at about 5 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast. So mostly cloudy for your Friday with highs in the mid 60s. Low 50s Saturday, we cool off with rain moving in, and a small chance for rain showers Sunday, otherwise partly cloudy with highs in the upper 50s.
Your favorite restaurants were half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Go to foxbangor.com, click on half off dining, and start saving now.
Located on Wilson Street in Brewer, Yoshi Japanese Restaurant, where you'll find only the best sushi, Asian favorites, and specialty crafted cocktails that will satisfy anyone. Try tatami seating for an immersive experience. Yoshi Japanese Restaurant, bringing delicious traditions to you.
Great restaurants from all over Eastern Maine at half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
Mira Joy, the overwhelming relief after Miralax helps you go. Miralax works naturally with the water in your body, putting you in a supernaturally good mood. Miralax, free your gut to free your mood.
Zook's tasty, tender dog treats can turn every outing into an adventure. From park to peak, wherever you roam, don't forget the Zooks. Zook's dog treats. Choose your adventure.
Kubota Orange Days delivers the savings you need for the life you love. Shop a wide selection of equipment at your local dealer, including America's #1 selling compact tractor. And get your perfect match delivered to your door. Designed for comfort and built for performance. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors.
Available at Doors Equipment, 1468 Outer Hammond Street, Bangor.
WVII, ABC 7 cares about the children in our area. We offer a variety of programming for children ages 7 to 14. WVII, ABC 7 keeps a file about these programs in our public inspection file. You may view these files during regular business hours, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The public inspection file is located at our studios at 371 Target Industrial Circle, Bangor, Maine 04401.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
This morning, a new warning about the impact President Trump's tariffs could have on the global economy. It comes as markets rallied on Tuesday after the president claimed he had no intention of firing the Fed chairman, Jerome Powell.
ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the details.
This morning, a warning from the International Monetary Fund about President Trump's tariffs. The IMF saying the tariffs will likely slow economic growth across the globe, with the United States taking a significant hit. It comes as Wall Street is on track for its worst April since the Great Depression, and the White House tries to reassure anxious investors. The administration now saying the trade standoff with China is moving in the right direction, but offered no specifics.
We're doing fine with China. We're doing fine with I think almost every country. Everybody wants to have involvement with the United States.
But behind closed doors, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent telling J.P. Morgan something very different, acknowledging China is going to be a slog in terms of the negotiations. ABC pressed President Trump about Bessent's remarks about the Chinese president.
Mr. President, you said you're ultimately going to make a deal with China, but where do things stand right now? I mean, have you talked to him? The secretary said these negotiations are going to be a slog.
My relationship with President Xi is great.
So you've talked?
It's been great for a long time. We've had a very good relationship, and I think we'll make a deal with China.
Markets rallied on Tuesday after Bessent said that the U.S. is looking to de-escalate the trade war with China. And after weeks of criticism, President Trump saying Tuesday, at least for now, that he won't fire Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, even though it's not clear he has any authority to do so. The IMF predicts U.S. economic growth will come in at just 1.8% this year, down sharply from its previous forecast of 2.7%, and a full percentage point below its 2024 expansion. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, an important ruling is expected to come from the U.S. Supreme Court today that would give parents more of a say in the lessons children learn at school.
ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the story.
This morning, the Supreme Court appears likely to allow parents to opt their children out of public elementary school lessons that conflict with their religious beliefs. The case centers on a group of interfaith families in Montgomery County, Maryland, who objected to their children being read books with LGBTQ characters and themes. They say this isn't about censoring books, it's about respecting their faith.
We have certain tenets in our religion that contradict some of the teachings that we're being taught.
But Emily McCowan, a parent in a same-sex marriage, says these books reflect reality.
These books are representing the community that is surrounding these children. You cannot deny that we exist. We live here. Our kids go to school here.
The school system in Maryland initially allowed parents to opt their kids out, but later said the program had become a logistical nightmare and ran counter to inclusion. The justices, during arguments yesterday, wrestled with where to draw the line between exposure to such materials and coercion, which is forbidden under the First Amendment.
It's not just exposure to the idea, right? It's saying this is the right view of the world. This is how we think about things. This is how you should think about things. This is like 2 + 2 is 4.
Is merely being exposed to the reading of the book out loud coercion? Is looking at two men getting married, is that the religious objection?
A lawyer from Montgomery County argued federal courts should not decide curriculum disputes, noting that the county school board was democratically elected. But the conservative justices question how this is different from excusing your child from other activities or classes.
What is the big deal about allowing them to opt out of this? They're able to opt out of the health class, right?
Justice Kagan warning that could be a slippery slope.
It would be like, opt-outs for everyone.
The court is expected to issue a ruling in June. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Tuesday was Earth Day, and Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Lee Zeldin traveled to California to address a sewage crisis that's been affecting residents for years.
But critics are calling out Zeldin and the Trump administration for rolling back environmental regulations. Fox's Mike Emanuel reports from Washington.
EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin marked Earth Day with a trip to California to assess a decades-long sewage crisis along the U.S.-Mexico border. Residents in San Diego's South Bay continue to deal with gallons of raw sewage pouring over the border, affecting their quality of life.
It's a public health ticking time bomb.
Zeldin's visit comes after the EPA denied local requests to designate the Tijuana River Valley as a federal Superfund cleanup site. During his visit, Zeldin said Mexico needs to step up.
They cannot view this as a U.S. problem just because their contamination reached U.S. soil.
Critics are calling Zeldin's trip on Earth Day hypocritical as the Trump administration pumps the brakes on EPA regulations. Back in March, the EPA announced more than 24 moves that would deregulate policies advocates say protect clean air and water. Zeldin says the administration is reviewing regulations that place financial burdens on energy companies, and that will boost energy production and lower energy costs for Americans.
I have a zero tolerance for any waste and abuse.
Among the regulations being reconsidered, greenhouse emissions from gas and coal-fired power plants, rules that limit toxic metal output from coal plants, and emission standards for cars and trucks. Critics of these cutbacks fear they will worsen the human impacts on climate change and increase the impact of air pollutions on Americans' health. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Well, this morning, Pope Francis's body, carried in a solemn procession, moved from his Vatican residence to St. Peter's Basilica. Dozens of clergymen leading his open coffin through a crowd in St. Peter's Square. His coffin will now rest at St. Peter's Basilica for 3 days. The public will be allowed to pay their respects until his funeral on Saturday. Leaders from all around the world will be in attendance, including President Trump and First Lady Melania. The world's attention will also soon turn to who will come next, as the conclave, the secret gathering of cardinals in the Sistine Chapel, may not begin for a few weeks to come. The central question, will it be a similarly progressive pope like Francis, or someone who is more conservative? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. And coming up on the second half of the newscast, we'll check out a small business in Montville that says the more diversity in their trade, the better.
That story and more coming up on Good Morning Maine.
We can go into a room and have absolutely nothing in there, nothing on the windows, no color, no character, no tone to a room.
That's, I think, where we're strongest, is being able to help someone envision what's going to go in that window.
And we leave, it's totally transformed into something that the customer wants it to be. We've often been told we make a room look better just by leaving it.
Need a trusted local contractor? Residential Roofers has been serving your community for over 30 years, specializing in groundwork, roofing, siding, windows, and doors. From premium materials to expert craftsmanship, we protect your biggest investment. And now, we're offering something special. Scan the QR code on your screen to schedule your no-obligation, free estimate and receive $250 off your first project. Don't wait. This offer won't last long. Residential Roofers. Quality you can trust, savings you'll love. Call or scan now.
Maine's largest network of parts just got a little bigger. Coastal Auto Parts, newest location in Bangor, has all your automotive needs to get you to the moments that matter most. Whether you're a professional mechanic or just need a little help, find everything you need all under one roof. Our knowledgeable staff is here to assist you with friendly service and expert advice right here at 200 Sylvan Road, just off I-95. Drive in, stock up, and hit the road with confidence. Coastal Auto Parts is owned and operated by a Maine family that cares.
A Bangor nonprofit is working to help people get off the streets and into housing through a low-barrier employment program.
It helps us get away from our daily struggles and focus on, what life is about.
But we're seeing pretty remarkable results in terms of access to additional services, to housing, to medication-assisted treatment, and things like that.
We'll share more about the impact this pilot program is having on the community Friday on ABC 7 News at 6.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025. It's also National Take a Chance Day. I like this one.
Okay, well, this is a day to stick your neck out and go for it. Taking chances doesn't come naturally for a lot of us, but there's no better way to reach your dreams than taking a leap of faith. Whether it's starting a new business, asking someone to prom, or going on a scary roller coaster, this is a day to throw caution to the wind and give it a try. I like it. I think if you were maybe going to think about asking somebody advice, hey, should I do this thing? I think you should throw that to the wind, and I think you should listen to your own advice and say, I want to do it, and if it's not harming anybody, I'm going to do it.
Right. A lot of times you end up being successful when you didn't think you would be.
Yeah.
And what a feeling that is when everything works out great.
When you wanted to do something and you took a chance and you did it and it worked out.
Yeah.
Or it didn't work out and maybe you learned something, and don't be too hard on yourself if it doesn't work out.
Right.
Be proud of yourself that you even did it at all.
Yeah, no risk, no gain, as they say.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So,
Do they say that?
I don't know. You know they.
Them.
You know. All right, time for history. On this day in history, back in 1635, the Boston Public Latin School was established in Massachusetts, becoming the nation's first public school. In 1898, Spain declared war on the United States, and the U.S. responded in kind just a couple of days later. It all began with the sinking of the USS Battleship Maine in Havana Harbor and resulted in the U.S. acquiring sovereignty over Puerto Rico, Guam, the Philippines, and as a protectorate of Cuba as well. The scrolls from the Battleship Maine, they used to be on the bow of the ship, of course, located right down in Davenport Park in Bangor. You can go by and visit it yourself.
It's kind of crazy thinking about that is something that really shaped the entire northwest part of the globe.
Yeah, I think the U.S. was claiming at the time that Spain had blown up the ship, but I don't think they ever figured out exactly how it happened, and you know, it just ended up being a
lost in translation.
Yeah, got us into war though.
Right.
All right, this is yours. Take it away.
In 1939, Boston Red Sox great Ted Williams hit his first home run. In 1971, hundreds of Vietnam War veterans opposed to the conflict staged a massive protest in Washington. They tossed their medals and ribbons over a wire fence constructed in front of the U.S. Capitol building. In 1985, Coca-Cola launched their ill-fated new formula, known officially as New Coke. The effort to re-energize the brand turned out to be a major marketing flop, and the company returned to the old flavor 3 months later and branded it Coca-Cola Classic.
Yeah, they were selling both for a while. The new Coke was a lot sweeter, and people didn't like it.
Really?
You know, and then they came out with Coca-Cola Classic.
Did you try the new one?
Yeah, I didn't really care for it either.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Coca-Cola guy, but every now and then you just want an ice cold Coke.
I like Diet Coke.
Yeah.
It has aspartame in it instead of sugar. I should really just have the regular one, but I like how the aspartame
Right,
tastes.
do you really?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I don't
it's
like,
not good for you.
I don't like any of those artificial sweeteners. I think
they're so bad for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I love it though. Yeah. I love it. In 1988, moving on now, a new federal law took effect that banned smoking cigarettes on flights that were under 2 hours, on another note of something that's not good for you.
Imagine that. We used to be getting in these little cockpits and people would be smoking up.
Well, they were talking in the newsroom the other day. It's like 25 years ago, we all would have been smoking in here. It's like, well, maybe not all of us.
Well, I remember when I started in the business, the reporters could smoke at their desks.
I know.
And there'd be this haze of smoke in the newsroom. And
it definitely fits the vibe sometimes, just stressed out writers just furiously typing away. Okay, moving on. In 1997, an infertility doctor in California announced a 63-year-old woman had given birth. The child was from a donor egg, and she became known as the oldest woman to give birth. Finally now, in 2005, the first video was uploaded to YouTube. It was uploaded by one of the website's co-founders and was called Me at the Zoo.
Just a personal video.
Yes.
You know, some interesting things.
Cute.
Midpoint today.
Yeah.
All right, today's birthdays include wrestler and actor John Cena, who is 48 years old today. Comedian George Lopez turned 64. And Olympic gold medal snowboarder Chloe Kim is 25 years old today. Happy birthday to you also, if your birthday is today. It's also, what's her name? Mimi Hadid? Gigi Hadid.
Gigi Hadid.
Yeah, she's we always put her in the birthdays. She's a model or something.
She's a model, yes, influencer. Mimi
Gigi?
Hadid.
Gigi? Yeah, I don't know.
Mimi Hadid.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, pretty close.
Makes a wicked good cheesecake.
Yeah,
oh,
no,
by the
she
way,
makes a really good vodka alla penne or whatever.
Oh,
she
really?
Makes, her pasta sauce went viral. Get with the
I
picture,
should
Craig.
know that, yeah. Today is also National Cheesecake Day, too.
Ooh,
so
I like that holiday, too.
It's not that vodka, whatever the heck it is.
Vodka sauce? It's a pasta sauce.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I drink it.
Where you talk
I mean,
way
eat
too
it.
much. Here's
Weather time.
Weather time with Devin.
Hey, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. As we get things rolling on this Wednesday, some areas waking up to a little bit of fog this morning. That will be going away as we'll see a good amount of sunshine. Radar and satellite is looking rather clear this morning, so no precipitation, just a little bit of fog in a few spots, but otherwise a nice day in store for us. A little bit of precipitation further off towards the north and a lot more further down toward the south, but we have some nice weather taking place for us this morning and throughout the rest of the day. So a lot of sunshine, maybe some clouds later this afternoon, more clouds, maybe some sprinkles further off towards the north today, but later on tonight, clouds to the north and a lot of clear skies coming up for us. But otherwise, some gusty winds could reach up to 20 to 25 miles per hour today. The wind's starting to calm down later on tonight and looking pretty good as we head towards tomorrow as well. So for today, pretty simple forecast, 60 degrees, partly cloudy, a little breezy out there with that west wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. Tonight, mid-30s, mostly clear, calm overall. So again, pretty peaceful evening on the way for us. And then for tomorrow, lower 60s, slightly warmer, increasing clouds throughout the day, and the northwest breeze at about 5 miles per hour. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon periods showing some clouds, otherwise temperatures making into the 50s and 60s, and some sunshine mixed in too. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma?
All right, thank you very much, Devin. Well, a manufacturing company in Montville is now helping businesses piece together their products for consumers. At Pieceworks Incorporated, everything is done by hand or small machinery.
Our Jody Hersey recently stopped by to learn what's kept this business humming for the past 29 years and counting.
From heated seat cushions to badge reels and packaged dog treats, Pieceworks Inc. in Montville assembles and packages them all.
So it really varies depending on the need of the specific client that we're doing it. And I've stayed very versatile all these 29 years.
Kathy Roberts, the president of Pieceworks Inc., comes from a family of entrepreneurs. Working for herself, Roberts was able to raise her children while setting up a manufacturing facility in her home. Years later, she expanded the business and moved Pieceworks Inc. into its own building.
The common thread that connects everyone that comes to Pieceworks is that they need something that still needs to be done with hands. The machinery is usually light machinery. We don't have robotics or anything like that.
One of the companies utilizing Pieceworks is Orono Spectral Solutions in Herman.
So these extractors here that measure oil in water. They make the method to measure oil in water faster, safer, more cost effective, and it has some unique capabilities, including the ability to identify the oil in the sample. So this is used for drinking water, processed water, and wastewater testing. And what we're trying to do is develop business, international business, using this technology.
Roberts says seeing other businesses thrive and knowing Pieceworks played a small role in that success has been rewarding.
Things are never the same, and the more diversity in what we do, the better for us as a whole.
In Montville, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
That's neat.
Wow, she's sustainably kept a small business, a manufacturing business in Maine. Yeah. What a success that is.
And helping others at the same time.
Yeah, so cool, so cool. All right, right after the break, Tyler Cruz will have our sports updates.
Don't go away.
Hello, this is George Whelan with Down East Direct Cremation. Now, anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, from the comfort of your desktop or the convenience of your mobile device, you can summon transport and arrange a simple, affordable, respectful Down East Direct Cremation for your deceased loved one. Just by using the button exclusively at downeastdirectcremation.com. All you need is the location address of the person who has died, their vital statistics information, a valid credit card for payment, and that's it. No need to pick up the telephone, no need to answer a bunch of questions, no need to come into the store, and it's still just $9.75 complete. It's so easy, even I can do it. For more information, visit us at downeastdirectcremation.com or call us at 207-225-5332. Simple, affordable, respectful. The button. only at downeastdirectcremation.com.
Spring is here, the warmth is creeping in, and before you know it, summer's heat will be here. Stay ahead of the season with the Fujitsu heat pump from Valley Home Services. Efficient heating in the winter, powerful cooling in the summer, without the hassle of bulky AC units. And with efficiency main rebates, there's never been a better time to install one. Act now before the rebates are gone. Embrace the comfort with Fujitsu and Valley Home Services. Call or click today.
Hey, Maine, think you're wicked smart? Well, put your knowledge to the test with me, Ken Jennings, on Jeopardy! Weeknights at 7:30 on ABC 7.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. For the first time since being drafted, Celtics forward Jason Tatum is on the verge of missing a playoff game. Tatum has played in all of Boston's 114 playoff games since being drafted in 2017, but that could all change on Wednesday night when the Celtics take on Orlando in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals. Tatum falling hard on this play in the third quarter of Sunday's win. It was later deemed a flagrant 1 foul on Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. The Celtics have officially marked him as doubtful for Game 2. Even though he finished out Game 1, he's got a bone bruise in his right wrist. Joe Mazzulla giving an update saying JT was working at practice, but he is still a little banged up.
He was sore after the game. He's gotten a little bit better today. He was able to go through some on-court work, and we'll go from there.
You think he's going to be good to go tomorrow?
Day to day.
Boston is 8-2 without Tatum this year, but those two losses have come to Orlando. Game 2 tips off Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And on the same note, Boston's Peyton Pritchard was named the NBA's Sixth Man of the Year after a stellar season off the bench. Moving on now, we will head to the Diamond, where the Bucksport baseball team is preparing to open their season on Wednesday. Our Jack Webb has the story.
So fired up, so ready. Can't wait.
Bucksport baseball opens their season on Friday, and their focus will be on defense.
We got to focus a lot on just staying true to the ball and not worrying about field condition. I mean, it's going to be cold, it's going to be wet, but we just got to deal with that part. And, I mean, if you mess up, you just slap yourself in the back and make the next play. Definitely focus on not allowing those errors to snowball into other ones to make more mistakes.
Yeah, in the preseason, we've had some runs just coming off of walks and off of errors, so we're just trying to limit that.
They'll take on the Ellsworth Eagles at 1 p.m. down in Ellsworth. The defending Class C state champs are hoping this season brings a fourth consecutive Class C North title for the Golden Bucks. However, they'll look a little different this year, losing multiple key pieces to graduation. But even though the now Bucksport alum can't help on the field, the lessons they passed along still have an impact.
It's actually super helpful that we had a great program before, like my freshman year, because I learned from them how to teach younger players, and overall it makes it a lot easier when you have people ahead of you too. We had like 5 or 6 seniors that started, so it was definitely a big loss, but we have a lot of good guys that are coming up that can take on those roles that we need. And I think we definitely have a good opportunity this year.
One of the most important lessons that's been passed down through Bucksport baseball, the ability to have fun in the midst of an intense season.
I think it's just how much fun we have at practice. We get serious when we need to get serious, but we also like to have fun.
We got to work a lot on just teamwork, just being a team, having fun together, and just playing the game of baseball, and of course bringing all of our qualities together.
From Bucksport, Jack Webb, ABC 7, Fox 22 Sports.
Thank you for that, Jack. Just like Bucksport, spring sports teams opening their season this week as we all get into full swing. We've got some lacrosse from Cameron Stadium on Tuesday afternoon. The Bangor boys beginning the 2025 campaign against the Red Eddies from Edward Little. Second half, Eddies up. Ryan Malakis fires to Dexter Morin. He rips one on net, and that one gets through. Eddies up 5-1. Here they come again now. This time it's Oren Slover from behind the net. Sends it to Nolan Heath. He fires in the air. He finds the back of the net. Bangor getting some stops now. Eddie's staying aggressive in the third. They fire a shot from Caden Strout, but Nick Horton is there for the save in net. Here he is again. Eddies have a great chance. Hunter Bailey finds Slover, and he is stonewalled at the net by Horton. But that offensive aggression paying off. Hayden Emery gets it in close. He shoots and he scores. Edward Little opens the season hot. They win it 8-3. Finally, next month, a very unique opportunity is coming to Bangor and is available for all basketball coaches of all age groups across the state of Maine. The Maine Basketball Hall of Fame is hosting their second annual coaching clinic. The clinic is on Saturday, May 17th over at Hollywood Slots and Casino, and all coaches and their staff are welcome to join. We have more information on how to sign up on our website. Registration for the day begins at 8:15, and then several speakers with diverse basketball backgrounds will give presentations throughout the day. Those speakers include Colby men's basketball coach Damian Strayhorn. He's been leading the Mules for 14 seasons. Husson women's hoops coach Kissy Walker follows him. She's a Hall of Famer, over 600 victories in her 30 years as a coach. Player development specialist and Results basketball co-founder Matt McKenzie follows. He trains everyone from the youth levels all the way to college. He's more known as Cooper Flagg's trainer. Winslow's Ken Lindloff is after lunch. He currently leads the Black Raiders, but was the Waterville coach for decades. He won a gold ball back in '85. Allison Montgomery, the Bates women's head coach, follows him. She's coming off a NESCAC title in 2022. And Max Good, who has been everywhere from MCI Prep to University of Nevada, Las Vegas to Bryant, Loyola Marymount, and more. He finishes the day off as the final presenter of the afternoon. Maine Basketball Hall of Fame Executive Director Todd Hansen says the clinic is an awesome opportunity to both learn and network with peers and even competitors.
It's a great weekend of connecting with other coaches, with networking with other coaches, and learning from really high level. We're lucky in Maine. We have some really high level coaches that love to share and love to teach, and it's a fantastic opportunity.
All right, that is all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Hi, I'm Dave from PDQ Door. For a brighter, quieter, smarter garage door, call PDQ Door. You can count on LiftMaster openers, and for the best prices and best service, you can count on PDQ Door. Visit us online at pdqdoor.com, where we sell the best and service the rest.
Maine weather is unpredictable. Don't get caught in the dark. NextGen Electrical provides full standby Generac generator installation, including propane and electrical setup, so your home stays powered no matter the weather. And with 0% interest for 18 months, reliable backup power has never been more affordable. We also handle all wiring projects, new construction, renovations, and more. From backup power to full electrical solutions, trust NextGen Electrical to get the job done right. Call NextGen Electrical today and power up with confidence.
Don't miss your chance to race for the million.
Finalists, are you ready?
The NASCAR Powerball Playoff is back. Enter now to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Cup Series Championship race at the Phoenix Raceway, where you could take home $1 million.
The winner is contestant number 2.
The race for the million is on.
It feels amazing.
Enter your Powerball tickets into the Maine Lottery Reward Me Club today.
Hi, I'm Dave from PDQ Door. For over 30 years, we've been delivering top-notch service to the state of Maine. We're proud to be your trusted and first choice for garage door repair and LiftMaster openers. Visit us online at pdqdoor.com, where we sell the best and service the rest.
Now here's Devin Biggs with our 5-day forecast.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. On this Wednesday, we have no advisories in effect on land or even along the coast, so we're starting off with the wave heights this morning. Not too bad overall, 3 feet according to the buoys nearby, some darker blues nearby too. So overall, the wave height's pretty relaxed, and farther out towards sea, a little bit more active, but overall 3 to 4 foot wave heights are being observed at this moment in time, so nothing too ridiculous going on here. I haven't shown you the water temperatures in a bit, and of course still cold out there, lower 40s for those water temperatures at this moment in time, a little bit warmer farther out towards sea. On land, some areas of dense fog greeting us this morning, maybe reducing things in Washington County, even near the Bangor area too. We'll get any kind of fog out of here today with a nice day on the way with a good amount of sunshine. Overall, again, not looking too bad, maybe some precipitation off toward the north, and again, overall, a lot of sunshine on the way for us, and maybe some clouds as we head towards the afternoon period. Larger pictures showing a little bit of precipitation further down toward the south in a few spots, including parts of Texas, even across parts of the Midwest. But again, we're in that nice spot where things are staying dry at this moment in time. So maybe a few sprinkles further off towards the north today, but in our neck of the woods, a lot of sunshine, maybe some clouds for the afternoon period. Coming up later on tonight, any clouds that develop, we'll be getting out of here. We'll be under a mostly clear sky. Again, some clouds lingering further off towards the north. Then once we head towards your Thursday, overall we'll have increasing clouds throughout the day, thankfully less wind. Then even by Thursday night, watching out for some rain that will be developing. Otherwise, again, gusty winds reaching up to 20 to 25 miles per hour today, calming down later on tonight, and even for tomorrow, not looking too bad either. So fortunately, we just have to get through today, and we're looking good. Maybe later into the afternoon, maybe some gusty winds along the coast. Temperatures recently, we had a nice warm stretch from Friday of last week through at least Monday, with temperatures overall that were in the 60s. And yesterday, of course, a little bit cooler, 47 degrees. That's about 9 degrees or so below normal. Our average high temperature should be at around 57 degrees, and we'll be above that today in the lower to middle 60s coming up over the next few days. Low 60s today and tomorrow, mid 60s Friday, then low 50s Saturday, back in the 50s and 60s Sunday, Monday, and also into your Tuesday. For today, low 60s, partly cloudy and breezy, west wind at around 25 miles per hour. By tonight, mid 30s, mostly clear with the wind overall looking nice and calm. Tomorrow, low 60s, increasing clouds, northwest wind at about 5 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast. So mostly cloudy for your Friday with highs in the mid 60s. Low 50s Saturday, we cool off with rain moving in, and a small chance for rain showers Sunday, otherwise partly cloudy with highs in the upper 50s.
Mira Joy, the overwhelming relief after Miralax helps you go. Miralax works naturally with the water in your body, putting you in a supernaturally good mood. Miralax, free your gut to free your mood.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet.
During Chevy Truck Month, well-qualified buyers get 2.9% APR for 72 months when you finance with GM Financial. Or get $4,350 total value. Plus, current Chevy owners can get an additional $4,000 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
Happy birthday! Did you know the best time to sign up for Medicare is 3 months before or after your 65th birthday? Medicare can be confusing. Let Senior Planning Center help you through the Medicare maze. See why thousands of Mainers have turned to Senior Planning Center for help securing a good Medicare plan. With locations and agents all over Maine, Senior Planning Center is here to help you. Call 207-223-6565 today to speak with a licensed agent with no obligation to enroll.
Summer is here, and the professionals at Frost Garage in Hamden know how to keep your vehicle in top shape. Trade out your old tires for summer tires or all seasons. Oil, lube, and filter to keep your car running smoothly. Swap those dirty cabin air filters for easy breathing and fresh air inside. Replace those worn-out wipers and see clearly again. Get your vehicle in shape with help from the professionals at Frost Garage, 46 Western Avenue in Hamden, and online at frostgarage.com.
The Celebrity Jeopardy finals are here.
Happy to be here.
This is amazing.
$1 million at stake.
Yes!
What is winner, winner, chicken dinner?
Nailed it.
Celebrity Jeopardy finals, new tonight on ABC and stream on Hulu.
All right, thank you very much for joining us. It does look like we've run out of time for today. We talked about taking chances too much in the midpoint.
Yeah, my fault, my fault. A little bit gabbing today.
I know. Yeah. If you missed anything, you can head to foxbangor.com.
Thanks for joining us, folks. Hope you have a great day.
Your favorite restaurants for half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Here's this week's featured deal.
Opa, a Greek Mediterranean dining experience like no other, serving the finest of Greek dishes in central Maine. Let executive chef Gage Derbyshire prepare your food while you enjoy a drink. Opa! It's all Greek to me.
On sale Thursday at 9 a.m. A limited supply available half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
Dragon Slayer Arcade now has 2 locations inside the Bangor Mall. Dragon Slayer has birthday party packages starting at just $50, which provides you with a designated area for you and your friends, which includes pizza and drinks. Dragon Slayer is all about birthday parties and would love for you to spend your next birthday with us. Give Dragon Slayer a call today to schedule your next birthday party. 860-462-1843.
Kubota Orange Days delivers the savings you need for the life you love. Shop a wide selection of equipment at your local dealer, including America's #1 selling compact tractor. And get your perfect match delivered to your door. Designed for comfort and built for performance. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors.
Available at Doors Equipment, 1468 Outer Hammond Street, Bangor.
I joined the Maine Army National Guard because I wanted to help the people of my community. But I never knew how far that would take me. I'm here from my hometown and I'm furthering my education. My part-time service is helping me do both. Join the team that can help you take charge of your future, just like I did with the Maine Army National Guard. Go to nationalguard.com/ME to learn more.
You're watching ABC7 Bangor.
Good morning, America. An exploding wild...
The Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello, everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, one man is dead and another is behind bars following a deadly police chase.
Plus, a disturbing find inside some Easter eggs that were discovered in a Bangor park.
And dozens turn out to raise awareness about autism during a special walk in Ellsworth.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us. We'll have those stories and more coming up. But first, to check of the forecast. Might be a good day for a picnic. It is National Picnic Day.
I know, I've wanted a picnic.
Yeah, it's been a while since we could do that. Today will be partly cloudy out there today. Temperatures getting up around 60, which will feel nice, especially when the sun comes out.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Here's Devin Biggs with the forecast.
Hey, Craig and Emma, thank you